Hello and welcome to this live walkthrough here today. So here I have in front of me Endeavour OS, currently on the Plasma 5.20.5 desktop release here. And yesterday was the official launch of the KDE Plasma desktop of 5.21, which came out of beta, which you would have seen me walk through on a previous video. But here today, just shy of 24 hours later after the official release, we are now seeing the 5.21 release now moved up from testing into the extra repositories on the Arch Linux desktop build here. So this now gives me the opportunity within Endeavour OS, because it is a rolling release, to be able to do a live update for you here today. So we're going to be now upgrading version 5.20.5 up to the latest version of 5.21, and then we're going to walk through some of the differences to see what we have here today. So let's first of all open up a terminal, and just to say that I've already run the neo fetch command here, and you can see currently that as proof, as well as you've seen within the system information here, that we are currently on Plasma build 5.20.5 here on the 17th of February. Now, I'm going to right now perform a system upgrade. So to do that one, I'm just going to run a sudo pacman command of -syu, and this will perform the system upgrade. If I press enter now, we should, after I've entered in my password, now have available to us a full system upgrade. And here we go. So it's currently saying I've got 44 packages available now to update here. If I just increase the font size and go full screen with this one. So just to say, from this one here, we've got 44 packages. We've got KDE Plasma add-ons to add here, but you can see we've got GTK theming and configurations going on here, but they're all coming through as 5.21, which is a very, very good sign. And if we look further down the list, we actually do have the 5.21.0 desktop release, which has now been pushed out into the Arch repositories. So just to say that this is part of the extra community of repositories here. So we currently have now what looks like what was 16,000 kilobytes to bring obviously down the line here. I can never get this right here, was it? Anyway, the upgrade size here, it says it needs to download 125 megabytes and then install 275 on top of that one. So the net size upgrade is 23 megabytes. So quite a small upgrade, believe it or not. But bear in mind, this is just the Plasma desktop. So it's only going to really be theming and some new features coming down the line, which we'll speak and run through in just a moment. So let's run this upgrade now. So I'll just say yes to this command here and press enter. And you can now see that we are going ahead now with downloading the 5.21 release. And we just let this now do its thing. And because it is what I class as a bit of a small update, it should be done fairly quickly. So let's now have a look what it's upgrading now. So yep, it's going through that process. It's just upgraded the Plasma desktop. It's now looking for additional dependencies, and it's complete. So for me here, this update only lasted, less than 20 seconds. So next, I now am going to clear the terminal, and I'm just going to now see if we do have the latest version now installed. So if I just now run a neo fetch on this one, you can now see that our desktop environment is now running on KDE Plasma 5.21.0. So that's the upgrade complete here on my mini desktop PC. And currently I am obviously recording this video on this PC here. So we are running idle at the moment of just shy under 3 gigabytes worth of RAM out of my 8 here. So not too bad for an idle state for this upgrade here. So let's now close down the terminal, and if I close down the system information, which you're currently seeing now on 5.20.5 on a KDE framework of 5.79, all of that information should now change. So if I close that down and then load up the system settings once more, and then scroll down to the settings here and click on system information, you can now see that we are on KDE Plasma build 5.21.0 still on the KDE frameworks of 5.79. So, looking at the kernel, we are currently on 5.10.16. I'm led to believe now that 5.11 has been released, so no doubt in the coming days we should see 5.11 also being offered to us within the Arch repositories. So we'll keep a close eye on that one there. So, just checking again here, we are in the extra repository package list here, and yep, all of the 5.2.1. So of this, it has, for us here today, updated and installed 22 packages in the extra field here, in the extra repository, and yeah, it has now upgraded us onto the 5.2.1 build. Excellent, good. Right, so let's have a look at what we're getting in 5.2.1. Okay, so after a system restart, here we are now on the Plasma 5.2.1 desktop, and on first glance we have an updated wallpaper here, looking absolutely glorious as always. A bit slightly Ubuntu-ish, I think, for my liking, but great to see a variety of colours and shapes going on here. Not quite sure what the twirling effect is with this wallpaper, but yeah, yet another great wallpaper from the Plasma team there, so that's how you can quite easily identify that you have got the 5.2.1 build here. So let's take a look before we dive into the back end what we've got here in this release. So what we've got is something very, very pretty here in 5.2.1, and yeah, we've got a brand new application launcher which I will talk you through in just a moment. They've made some theme improvements, and I believe we have a new one now called Breeze Twilight. We'll take a look at that one very, very shortly. Yep, there it is. So it says here it's a combination of dark theme and light theme, of course. So if you like your settings to kind of appear as dark, but the actual elements inside the windows to be white, then obviously this ideally would be the theme which you would need to use, of course. There's an updated Plasma system monitor, which obviously shows you a bit more detail in terms of what's going on behind the scenes within your system there. Kwin and Wayland, they've suddenly decided that now in this release to push first-class support for Wayland, and in Plasma 5.2.1 it makes a massive progress towards reaching that goal here. What they've done, of course, is introduced some improvements around GTK application support there, now supporting text import version 3 protocol there. Also support for graphical tablets as well, so yeah, it'd be good to see what feedback we get from that there. We've got some updated system settings here, so within the system settings, just to point out, now the where it used to say something like global theme, everything now is under one appearance tab, so we'll have a look at that very, very shortly. Of course, we've got an updated wallpaper, and we've also got some additional login screens as well, which we'll take a look at as well in a few moments. We've got some brilliant applets now going on here for your media players, so if you're running your favorite streaming service like Spotify or I don't know what other services such as, you know, Apple Music or whatever, whichever clients you use to play your music, there's a brilliant applet for you there where you can see album artwork and more. Plus also there's been updates to the Discover area. Now because I'm using Endeavour OS here on my Arch system, Discover is basically disabled, so you cannot run Discover in Endeavour as you would normally expect within other distributions, and in particular KDE Neon as well. KRunner, the ping KRunner doesn't close automatically, but that has now been updated, of course, there, so not quite sure what goes on behind the scenes there, because I'm not really familiar with what KRunner does. We've got a better support now for time zones within the digital clock, and the sound applet has been as well updated to now display live microphone volume, which I'm very, very pleased about, and I'm spotting that yeah, click through, and I can see here I've got additional support now for my microphone inputs, which is fantastic. Right, so before we go any further on, let's just now take a look at what we are going to be expecting to see within this 5.21 release. And the KDE team have done a video to mark this occasion, so let's take a quick look at that's there. So there you have it, an introduction there to Plasma 5.21 from the KDE team there. And that video is on their website if you want to go and take another look and refer to that a bit later on here. So some of the great updates which we are going to be looking at now. The first of those is the new launcher. So if we click down here into the menu, you can see we've got some changes here now. So the options to shut down your PC, restart it, hibernate or sleep has now moved into the launcher, but they now don't appear as separate buttons that you would normally have seen down the left hand side. You've now got quick and easy access to those within the bottom of the panel here. You've got a new applications view as well, which you can at this point now see everything kind of in tiled views, so a bit Windows 10ish I think for this one, but it'll be very familiar for those people coming across from Windows. And you've got the option to view your entire application list as well alphabetically. So let me just see if I can just bring that back again. Yeah, so if you go into all applications, you can now list out all of your applications alphabetically. And for quick access, you can use the search facility as well. So for example, if I just start by searching for Firefox, straight away I've got access to Firefox there, where I can launch it from this menu. But one thing I will say, and probably it was going to get quite a bit of criticism I think for this update, but you know, a lot of people don't like change, but change has to happen to improve the user interface, the usability of course, and enhance on what's already there within the current distribution. So it will take some time for people to get used to this new look, and I probably will say at this point there'll be a lot of shouting about how they can revert back to the old menu. But just to say, when I was doing testing on KDE Neon, there was the option to roll back to the previous application launch window. But on this one, this brand new launch here, the official launch of 5.2.1 today, it doesn't appear that we can actually do any rollback on the application window. But what I will do is just point out that if you right click over the start button here, the menu button, you can then go to configure application launcher, and there you can obviously configure applications and drag and drop more applications in and add more. You can do what you like to it basically, but you've got the option to show alternatives. So if we're clicking to show alternatives, we've now got the option to switch it to an application dashboard. You've also got the application launcher, the brand new launcher which you're looking at now, and there is the application menu. So as I'm rightly pointing out, as you can see from this option here, you don't have the facility to be able to roll back to the previous menu there. So for example, if I switch into the application menu and then switch to that view there, when I come out of it and then click onto the menu again, you can now see that I've got a familiar looking menu where of course everything is listed out in category view, and then I can switch to kind of a, you know, a Windows 2000 Windows XP kind of styled looking, you know, menu system there. But, you know, to be honest, could be something to do with theming here. I've just noticed it hasn't really come through very well. It looks like it's slightly transparent, so that might be something to do with the composition at the moment, because obviously I'm recording this video through a screen recorder. So let's hope that that's not interfering too much there. But yeah, so if you wanted again to switch back to another version, again right click and then you go to show alternatives, and then you can switch back to the main application launcher or the application dashboard, which no changes has been made there. So for example, just by selecting dashboard and I click the menu, you can see I get the regular categories and the regular search menu come up here. I've not really used this much within my KDE experience here, but you know, I might consider it in this 5.2.1 release. But you know, I want time for that brand new launcher to bed in with me here, so I'm just going to revert back to that main application launcher. Now, just point out that there is some help available to you if you did want to roll back to the previous version. So although it's not an option given to you here within the main distribution itself, or the main desktop environment, there is an extension out there which will allow you to do that basically. So one of the things to look out for within the KDE store website, if you go to store.kde.org.uk, you can do a search for a plugin called the Legacy Kickoff. And thank you very much to the guy who suggested that to me there within my post on the Endeavour OS forum there. So thank you very much for suggesting that. This, as you know, very familiar looking menu gives you the option to switch back to the previous KDE look there. So if you do like that and you're not too much of a fan of the updated launcher, no worries, you just download and install this plugin here, and you'll be able to revert back to the old menu system. I'm not going to install it here today. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but there'll be plenty of help out there for you to be able to get this thing up and running if you wanted to roll back there. So just to say, Legacy Kickoff is a way to basically be able to get your KDE to revert back to how it was previously in 5.20. So we've taken a look at the application launcher, and what else is there to look at now? So let's now look at some of the improvements over the theming. So if we load up the system settings now, and I'll just expand on this one here. So I have spotted a few changes to the system settings now. So like I said a bit earlier on, global themes no longer there. It's all categorized now within one appearance category. So now you have application style, plasma style, colors, window decorations, fonts, icons, etc., all within the one category. So you just need to select appearance now, and then you can go and select what you want to do from here. So it's a bit of a tricky one to navigate, but if I click into appearance, obviously when you hover over it, you do get the options come up. If you click into it, you actually get it open up as a kind of a full screen view. And then if I go into, obviously here under the global theme, which loads up by default, we've now got a new theme called Breeze Twilight. Currently right now you're just looking at the standard out of the box Breeze theme, but here we have Breeze Twilight, which is new to 5.21. So if we click into Breeze Twilight and apply that theme now, you will spot that we've now gone to a dark theme, but it's not total darkness. You can see that the actual main window is still appearing as white, but the taskbar has changed to dark. So in my view, this is an excellent move. So congratulations, well done to the KDE team for bringing this to us now, because it now gives us a variety of both dark and light combined together. And I think that works very, very well within this 5.21 release here. So that's just one of the changes there. Under Plasma style, you now have, well, nothing changed there. You've still got Breeze Dark and Breeze Light. Somebody pointed out to me that there were some new colours available to us, so not seeing that here, but again, nothing stopping you going down to get new colour schemes, and you can download more from here. Same too applies with the Plasma style. You can go and get new themes from there, and you just scroll through the suggested views and pick one you like. And the same goes with the application style. You can't download new ones, but you can configure the existing pre-installed themes from there. Under global theme, there again you can go to get new global themes and then select a new theme from the list here. I'm not going to download and install here today because you know what to do. There's nothing really changed from previous Plasma installations here. So under workspace, you've still got your workspace behavior, your window management, your shortcuts, your startup and your shutdown, etc. But you notice now that we've got dots appearing, and these dots are highlighted changes. So when a change has occurred to the system somewhere, it will highlight it to you within the system settings, but it will only highlight it to you if you've got highlight change settings enabled here, which is a button at the bottom of the settings panel here. So you can see here, in terms of screen locking, for example, some settings were changed within the screen locking, where I earlier on, after a previous install of 5.20, had disabled my lock screen option here, so it was seeing that as a changed option. General behavior, for example, yeah, again, you can see that it's highlighting where I have made changes. So I gave my animation speed a couple more notches, and that's why that one is highlighted there. Under the search option, I didn't make any changes. The system done this for me anyway. I must have made another configuration change somewhere else, but you can see here that under file search that it's made some changes there, although it hasn't highlighted it to me, but something obviously is going on in the back end that has enabled this for me. Under startup and shutdown, I think it's here now. Yep, here it is. Here is where we can change the login screen theming, and you can see here now that we haven't got any new login screens, but we do have the updated Breeze theme there, which is currently set up there by default. Again, you've got the option to download new themes, so just taking a quick look here, you've got the option to scroll through and grab anything that takes your choice. So for example here, if I like the look of that one, and I can go and click install and run and select it from the window here. Again, you just keep clicking through until you pick one that you like. Don't worry if you don't like any of these, you can stick with a default one, but you know, there's a lot of good artists and designers out there that make really good looking login screens, so it's worth coming here every so often just to see what's new out there. Background services has been highlighted to me as well. Some system settings have changed unexpectedly. Okay, so is that a bug perhaps? I will just ask it to restart the app there. Yep, so there must have been some changes that occurred within here that gave it a bit of a bug there. That's fine. Shortcuts. Yeah, so let's have a look. What else has changed? So, audio. Yep, so you can now, within the audio, you've got greater control over the microphone and the speaker devices there. And a multimedia, you can change some of the encoding settings here by the looks of things. Yep, so you can do that. That's fine. And display and monitor, of course, yeah, again, if you've got your dual screen set up or more, then you've obviously got more control over that one here. But for me, I think the only changes that really are shouting out to me here is now the updated appearance category. And under system information, if we click here, you can see now we're running the latest version of the KDE Plasma desktop on version 5.21. So that is the system settings and improvement to some of the theming there, which we have now selected the Breeze Twilight. So we're now running with that brand new theme there. Let's take a look at the system monitor. So if I just have a look at what changes we've got going on here. So within the system monitor, that should be under, where are we? It's funny how I type system and it's not coming up. System monitor. I think it's within system settings now. Let's have a look. We were just here a moment ago, so why didn't I spot that? I can't really see what's going on there. Okay. But anyway, you do get the processes come up. You can see what's running in the back end. Let me just see. I think I get that from tools, it says here. So let's have a look under settings, system settings. I'd be able to recognize it from the icon, and I can't see that here. It's interesting how I can't find it, but where are we? It will be here. Yeah, it's bound to be under utilities for sure. No, system. I think it's actually under KSys guards. Let's have a look. Well, I mean, looking at this, it's not the exact match, but it pretty much... oh, this is the older version, isn't it? This is the older version of the system monitor. Okay. Utilities... See, I'm not going crazy here, am I? It will take me a while to find this, I think. System profile and benchmarking. No. No, we'll find it. We'll find it eventually. I'm pretty sure it was under system settings. Let me just quickly do a search for... No. I know what will have it. Should we try out the new updated file index monitor? Yeah. So I'm not going crazy. You can't see it there, can you? No. There's the system monitor, but it's the older version. I'm sure of it. Let's go down to system monitor. So that's running version 5.21, which suggests it is the latest version. Okay. Alright. I'm pretty sure that probably is the right one. Anyway. So, if I do get to it, and I will find it, it will be showing now the system monitor, which obviously shows what's going on with the memory, the hard disks and the CPU. You've got your history going on here of what's going on in terms of chart view, what's been happening, where you've seen peaks and troughs in your CPU usage, etc. You can obviously see the listed applications, and you can kill them from here as well as a process. And then of course you get pie chart views here of what's going on in terms of your, well, it looks like CPU temps and more going on there. So with Kwin and Wayland, not really anything I can show you here, but obviously just to point out that it now supports all of that for you. And under the system settings, as we have just now pointed out, you've got accessibility now, where you can obviously set up some things for the visually impaired people amongst us, etc. Screen reader as well has been inclusive. So let me just take a quick look there under the settings, system settings, and it's bound to be there. Bound to be there. Yep, so where are you? Accessibility, I saw you just a moment ago. There you are. So accessibility under personalization. So we've got enabled at the moment on the audio bell. Modify keys, you can set up some sticky keys on that one there. Keyboard filters, you can set up some defaults there. Mouse navigation and a screen reader. So this has a screen reader already enabled, but let's see, it hasn't been launched yet. So does anything happen when I click launch? I have clicked launch and nothing's happened, so maybe I need to enable some more settings somewhere, but I'll investigate that one there. And applets, of course, your favorite media player as well. Now it includes better artwork and greater control over the forward, back, play, pause, and the volume controls, etc. So let me just see, have I installed my favorite music player? No, I haven't. Okay, so let me just now see if I can bring up a video of some sort and see if we can get that one playing there. So if I go to YouTube, yeah, that's fine. Let me just do youtube.com. Should I just done that? And if I just go to the KDE channel and I would just turn the volume down on that one there while that's playing, you can see we've got the media playing now, and if you can just about see in your taskbar now, you've got a play icon that's now appeared here. So if I click onto that, I've now got this brilliant new media applet which now shows me a thumbnail of what I'm playing right now, the title, and I've got control over the forward, the next, and the pause button there. So obviously I've only got one video playing at the moment, and there's no real need to control any further media from that. But you can see here now you've got a great working applet and some improvements to that. So we should hopefully now satisfy the music people amongst us all, which is brilliant. Great widget for you to work upon there. And Plasma Mobile has also been designed to adapt all types of screens, so I'm not familiar with how that works just yet, but if you do have Plasma installed on something like, I don't know, a Pine phone or some sort, then you've got the option to be able to do some further configurations there. And like I said a bit earlier on as well, you've got support for unattended updates now within the Discovery system updates there. So what you can do is you can basically now tell it to auto update and it will do that for you there. You can also pin the K Runner application, which doesn't close automatically now, that stays open at all times. And you get better support for time zones within the clock, and you've got options as well to do some configurations within the sound applet there. And it's worth pointing out as well that this brilliant new release of Plasma 5.21 is dedicated to Gustavo Carneiro, who was a KDE contributor from Brazil that left us earlier this year due to obviously COVID-19 there. So we lost one of the great contributors to the KDE project there. So this whole release is dedicated to Gustavo there. So rest in peace there, Gustavo, and thank you very much for all that you did with the KDE project there. So that's pretty much it. 5.21 KDE Plasma within Arch. Endeavour OS is what I've got running on here now. Yeah, some great improvements. So I say now go ahead, download and play with this one here. And if you've got any comments on that one, obviously feel free to drop that into the comments line below, of course, there in the video. Or if you've got any questions, feel free to drop me a line via my website over there at digitalrobin.net. You can follow me on Twitter at RobinJust, and of course, as well as that, you can spot me across the whole of the web there as I readily appear amongst many of the Linux community forums there. So thanks very much for joining us here today on this walkthrough of KDE Plasma 5.21 here within Arch Linux using Endeavour OS. Go ahead and enjoy. Until next time we meet, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you again in the next video.